Hello everyone, and thank you for checking out Unexpected History. If you're new here, welcome. If you're returning, welcome back. This is going to be a slightly longer video than those I've been uploading recently, although for the sake of some resemblance to brevity, I've cut out some of the details. This subject fascinates me, and I hope it does you as well. The United States Coast Guard is possibly one of the world's best search and rescue organizations, particularly when it comes to water rescues. But did you know that there is one stretch of water in the entire United States that even the Coast Guard will not attempt to rescue? Dangerous waters. The stretch of water you see before you is part of the Chicago Sanitary and Ship Canal, located in the Chicago, Illinois area. It's a singularly dangerous stretch of water. It's also the only stretch of water in the entirety of the country where the United States Coast Guard will not attempt to rescue anyone unlucky enough to fall into, accidentally or otherwise. The canal was built primarily as a way for ships to navigate between the Mississippi River Basin and the Great Lakes, connecting to the Des Plaines River. Both it and the Calumet-Saguenay Channel provide the only continuous navigable passages to and from Lake Michigan and the Great Lakes Waterway and the river system. Both also replaced the much narrower and shallower Illinois and Michigan Canal, built in 1848. The building of the canal also had the added benefit of serving as extensive practical training for some of the engineers that would go on to build the Panama Canal. Now that we've established the basic reasons for the canal's existence, you're probably wondering why the Coast Guard won't attempt to rescue anyone that falls into it at a certain point. After all, isn't the primary purpose of the Coast Guard to save lives? Well, yes. But to get to the reason no rescue attempt would be made, we need to know why this particular stretch of canal is considered dangerous, and why it was deliberately made that way. Yes, I said deliberately. As of 2020, which are the latest numbers I could find, there are over 250 non-native aquatic species from other continents that have established a quantifiable foothold in the United States. Invasive species from outside North America can be particularly troublesome upon their introduction to an ecosystem, because they most likely lack the natural predators to keep their numbers in check, and they may outcompete native species for food sources, often pitting the new adults in the pond against the locals' kids. Hardly a fair fight. So it's definitely a bad idea to dump little Joey's goldfish in the pond at your local park. Just saying. Asian carp is the name we've given to what is actually 10 separate and distinct species of carp introduced into North American ecosystems, of which all but 2 have been firmly established. The others are likely here to stay, and many cause harm to their environments. Black carp feed on native mussels and snails, many of which are already endangered. Grass carp can alter the food chain by destroying or altering communities of plants and invertebrates, in turn affecting the fish species that depend on them. Bighead and silver carp are filter feeders, much like many species of whales, and the plankton they eat is also the food source for many larval forms of native species. This filter feeding also makes bighead and silver carp very difficult to eradicate, as they are far less likely to be caught using traditional fishing methods. The only Asian carp known to be abundant in the Great Lakes is the common carp, with isolated examples of grass carp having been found in all but Lake Superior, and with no evidence of stable breeding populations. The U.S. Fish and Wildlife Service would like to keep it that way. Because the Fish and Wildlife Service is trying to keep the bighead, silver, and grass carp from establishing themselves in the Great Lakes, and because each of those species is known to have a substantial presence in the Mississippi River Basin, the Chicago Sanitary and Ship Canal represents a significant challenge to this goal. As I mentioned earlier, the canal is one of the very few passages between the two bodies, and as such, it needs to be protected. That protection comes in a novel form, and is also the reason that the Coast Guard won't make any rescue attempts within 450 feet of it. There's an electric dispersal barrier system submerged under the water along a 1,500-foot section of the canal. Anchored to the bottom are a series of steel electrodes that pass a DC electrical current to the water, with the express purpose of discouraging invasive fish species, particularly the Asian carp, from entering the Great Lakes waterway. That current has made an excellent deterrent so far, as few, if any, of the invasive species have been found past the barrier area, or in Lake Michigan, except those that were already there, such as the common carp. That barrier system, with the electrical current it passes into the water, is also the reason the United States Coast Guard will make no attempt to perform a water rescue in the area. To my knowledge, there is no record of any such accident, but the Coast Guard's official statement regarding that area of the canal is as follows. There is no identified safe method to recover a victim from the water while in the electrified zone. If a person or object falls out of your vessel, the U.S. Coast Guard will not attempt a rescue until the person is 450 feet downriver, due to the electrical hazard for the rescuers. When I first heard that there was a stretch of water in the US where the Coast Guard would make no attempts to rescue someone, I just had to know why. Now I know, and so do you. Just don't fall in. Special thanks to my one and only Patreon supporter, Sue, without whom this video might not have been possible. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and/or follow Unexpected History. It's like regular history, just unexpected.